Bayern Munich cruised to a 5-0 victory over Freiburg to move to within 4 points of Union Berlin at the top of the Bundesliga. Liverpool have issued a statement condemning the behaviour of Manchester City fans after their bad-tempered clash at Anfield. Bernardo Silva hit out at the match officials after Manchester City's loss to Liverpool, having seen a Phil Foden opener ruled out by VAR. Jurgen Klopp says Mohamed Salah was never supposed to come off during Liverpool's meeting with Manchester City despite his number being shown. Quizzed by Sky Sports on whether Salah had talked himself out of being changed, Klopp said, "No, he was not supposed to be off. I wanted to speak to him. I did not know the number showed up. That was not the plan." Toni Kroos insisted that Fede Valverde is in the top 3 in the world right now after his outstanding El Clasico performance for Real Madrid. Mikel Arteta's Arsenal have become the first side in the club's history to win 9 of their first 10 top-flight matches after beating Leeds. Erik ten Hag feels Manchester United allowed 2 points slip against Newcastle, with the Dutch coach admitting Rashford had to score at one stage. Ten Hag told BBC Sport, "The performance was good, a clean sheet, we pressed well, we controlled the game, and in stages we were good on the ball, especially in the second half. Then, we dictated the game, and in the end we should have scored the winning goal. One from Fred, and then Rashford had to score." Kepa Arrizabalaga continues to complete his transformation from villain to hero at Chelsea, with his last performance considered to be world-class. Ronald Araujo has fired a transfer message to the directors at Barcelona, saying he would sign Lionel Messi if the Argentine icon becomes available. Antoine Griezmann has asked for forgiveness from Atletico Madrid fans after sealing a permanent transfer from Barcelona in the summer. Florentino Luis is the latest name on Juventus' radar as they hunt for fresh players. That's according to a report from Calciomercato, which reveals that the Bianconeri watched him when they recently faced his team in the Champions League, and will continue to monitor his performances ahead of a potential move for the Benfica midfielder at the end of the season. Kylian Mbappé and Neymar combined for the only goal of the game as Paris Saint-Germain ran out 1-0 winners against Marseille in Ligue 1. Kylian Mbappé and Neymar's relationship at PSG has been questioned this season, but there was no doubt the two attackers were in perfect harmony in Sunday's win over Marseille at the Parc des Princes. According to journalist Simon Phillips, Manchester United are heavily interested in signing Roma and England striker Tammy Abraham. "I am told that Manchester United are keen on signing Abraham in the summer," Phillips told Give Me Sport. Striker Kylian Mbappé says he never asked to leave Paris Saint-Germain amid reports he wanted a move away from the French capital in January. The 23-year-old France international signed a new 3-year deal with the club in May. Joan Laporta confronted the El Clasico match officials in their dressing room after Barcelona's El Clasico defeat to Real Madrid. Barca president Laporta was unhappy with the performance of the match officials and confronted them directly post-match. The referee's match report described the Barca president coming into their dressing room and repeatedly requesting explanations about some situations in the match. Laporta was then invited to leave without further incident. Napoli came from behind to beat Bologna and return to the top of Serie A. Brazil election. How the famous yellow football shirt has become politicized. The 20-year-old went to the nearest store, grabbed the famous yellow and green top and took it to the till, where he was met with an excited smile. The shop owner assumed I support the current government because I was buying the shirt and started to rage against left-wing candidate Lula, João tells the BBC. João does not support the government of Jair Bolsonaro, who is standing for re-election on Sunday, but buying the shirt he realized in the store could make people think he did. In order to avoid confrontation, João pretended to be a Bolsonaro supporter. It was another sign that the yellow and green shirt, made famous by Pelé, Ronaldo, and many others, has become a symbol of a divided nation. Christian Pulisic has been told he will not post big numbers at Chelsea and should be favoring a move to Newcastle over one to Leeds in January. Former Liverpool and Chelsea star disagrees with Gary Neville on Arsenal title charge. "I am a believer now," Cole told BT Sport. We've seen them trip up themselves so many times over 10 years. You always want to have another look, but the process Mikel Arteta is talking about for the last 12 to 18 months is starting to bear fruition. Carney Chukwuemeka rejected huge £5.2 million Aston Villa contract offer to complete Chelsea transfer. On loan at Birmingham in the Championship, Austin Trusty is impression all-comers with his performance and is an option for Arsenal and USMNT going forward. Liverpool are monitoring Frenkie de Jong's situation at Barcelona. As per Liverpool Echo, the Dutchman is unsettled at Barca, who are also looking to offload him to generate revenue. Though Manchester United are supposedly mentioned as the most likely destination for the midfielder, Liverpool have reportedly entered the race for his signature. Reds have plenty of issues in midfield with injuries and desperate to strengthen in the middle of the park. Klopp is said to be a huge admirer of De Jong and has apparently sanctioned a move for him. Former Tottenham boss Mauricio Pochettino is being linked with Juventus. The Italian Giants have had a poor start to the season, sitting 8th in the league table and on the brink of being knocked out the Champions League. Max Allegri could be axed due to a number of disappointing performances, with the relationship between him and club president Andrea Agnelli being tested, claimed Gazzetta dello Sport. Barcelona president Joan Laporta's son is detained in Madrid. He was in the Spanish capital to celebrate his birthday and had an argument in a bar, although at no moment was he violent towards his partner, as has been reported by some media. In fact, his partner never left his side and also accompanied him to the police station, where she denied any mistreatment on the part of the Barca president's son. The information was released by El Español, who claimed that the youngster has started to shake his partner in a restaurant called Miguel Angel on a table close to various guards from a government ministry, who advised the police. Milan striker Giroud happy taking charge in Ibrahimovic's absence. He told RMC, "It's true that I played 11 games as a starter, something that hadn't happened to me for a while. We have the possibility of rotations, but we were not spared from injuries. I had to go on, but I feel very good physically. I have responsibilities in this team and I feel very good, so I hope it will continue." Lazio director of sport Igli Ter has declared Serie A's biggest clubs as bankrupt. The former Albania striker spoke at an event at the Lewis University in Rome on the evolution of sport and the economic profiles of clubs. There are only 4 clubs in Italy that are still owned by families: Udinese, Atalanta, Lazio and Napoli, said Ter. "I am in favor of that type of ownership, because multinational corporations only have commercial interests and you lose the joy of football, that passion and love for the sport. Those funds work with algorithms and don't care about the history of the club or the city. I am an old school fan. This is my 15th year at Lazio. I am fortunate to work with a club that has a virtuous approach to finances." Napoli ace Kvaratskhelia already being watched by Ancelotti and Klopp. Salukvadze told Meta Ratings, "Kvaratskhelia has had an incredible start to the season in Napoli. Ancelotti and Klopp follow him and I think in the future he will go to Liverpool or Real Madrid. I also think that this year he can compete for the Golden Boot title in both Serie A and in the Champions League." Blackburn striker Brereton Diaz cool on Milan interest. Estadio Deportivo says the Chile international is not paying too much heed to interest from Milan, as he thinks he'll be way down their priority list.